Hello, how are you, everyone? Welcome again to today's iCON forum, our online webinar, Take Charge of Your Health, Living Well Together with Diabetes. I am Barbara Ho. I am the Chief Nursing Officer of iCON Chinese Division and your host today. Today's topic, the theme, again, has to do with diabetes. iCON is the office is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. We would also like to acknowledge that you are joining us today from many places, near and far, and acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands. iCON is an initiative of the UBC Faculty of Medicine. Let's start with Digital Emergency Medicine Initiative. The main purposes are through organizing health seminars, workshops, and using web technology, we can help multicultural the public to know more about prevention of diseases, and also for those who we can instill knowledge for using digital technology to manage your chronic diseases. We hope that we can give you accurate and reliable information for everyone to share. We hope that not only local public can share with this, we hope that through the webinars, we can also spread the knowledge to far and remote places so that everyone can strive to improve our physical health.
The next speakers, well, it's time to move. Okay, maybe you can see if Emily and Nicole can introduce something for you to move about. So how to stay active, whether you're a diabetes patient or whether you're well with no disease, everyone should stay active and even further do exercises. And today we are happy to have two registered physiotherapists to explain to us how we can stay active. Okay, it's your time, Emily and Nicole.
Thank you. Hi, how's everyone? So you have learned a lot of things just now, a lot of information. Now, our next topic is to stay active. How do you stay active? So first, I want to introduce ourselves. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Pack. I'm a registered physiotherapist in Hong Kong and in Canada. And I also do acupuncture, and I'm a yoga instructor. I've been doing that for more than 10 years, so I'm quite experienced. So I want to share with you some knowledge about exercise when you have diabetes. Hi, everyone. I am Nicole Tai. I'm also a physiotherapist here in Canada. I'm also a IMS needling practitioner. I am not a yoga instructor. It's a misleading title. I'm only taking a course in acupuncture. So I'm trying to mix both Western and Chinese methods. So let's go on and begin our talk. Today, we're going to share with you some objectives. First, I want everyone to understand how it benefits those who have diabetes, and how do you do exercise safely, and how do you prevent injury when you do exercise. So let's talk about the benefits of regular physical activity. Now, exercise, I'm sure you know that there are many benefits for that, other than the promote your blood circulation, and also promotes your physical health and your functions, internal organs functions, cardiovascular functions. The most important thing is to increase our immune system capacity and and also it reduce our stress, and for us women, and it can reduce weight for those who are women to reduce weight. So there are many benefits. Right. So let's look at this graphic and explain to you what are the benefits of exercise. Actually, diabetes can affect a lot of our internal organs and create a lot of complications, and can affect our heart. So more exercise means less risk of complications. Also, exercise can control our blood pressure, control our cholesterol, as well as improve our glucose level. So of course, more exercise means more strength and better stamina, and help us improve our blood circulation. So you know that exercise has so many good benefits. So do more exercise then. Now, if exercise is so important, how do you do it safely then? Now let's have a look then. Right. Those who have diabetes, when you do exercise, you have to watch out for these things. Number one, you have to monitor your glucose regularly. So if it's too high or if it's too low, that's not time to do exercise. And we should bring along some snacks with us all the time. For example, crackers or some candies. So to prevent that all of a sudden your blood sugar level decreases to a low level, then you have to take some snacks. You also watch out for any adverse symptoms. So if you have them, then you have to stop immediately. And before exercising, you have to take some low glucose foods. And finally, you should avoid strenuous exercise. And actually, there are other things to remember. When there is emergency, when you feel dizzy, you have pallor or sweat, cold sweat, then you should stop your exercising immediately and find someone to help you around you, and also talk to the family doctor about your conditions. So what kind of exercise should we do? Actually, there are many types of exercise. So for those who have diabetes, there are the aerobic and strength exercises that are suitable for them. Now, what are aerobic exercise activities then? So that means that you have to do it for 20 minutes continuously. If you sweat, if you are short of breath, that's aerobic exercise activities. So jogging and swimming, for example. So we have a suggestion. Every week you should engage in at least 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise. That means that what is moderate? That means you can still talk while you're doing it. And vigorous exercise means that you cannot talk easily when you do it. You cannot sing. So karaoke is not for exercising. So another benefit for doing exercises is it promotes heart, lung, and blood vessel health. So more aerobic exercises means that you can walk longer, you can hike longer, and you can do your house chores more relaxed, more easily. So, and another type of exercise is muscle strengthening. Suggestion is do it 2 to 3 times a week. For your major muscles, you should use push, pull, or lift machines. So these exercises can help strengthen your muscles as well as your endurance. What is power strengthening? So you should use heavier weights, and you can do reps like between 6 and 10 reps, or even up to 20 reps. For endurance exercise, you can use lighter weight, and you can do more reps, say between 8 to 10 reps. And this kind of muscle training exercises can strengthen your muscles. For example, when you wash your dishes, or you cook, or you hold your grandchildren, so that would also strengthen your bone health. So how much exercise should we do? Actually, in Canada, there's the Heart and Stroke and Association as well as Public Health Canada. Their recommendation is that for each week, you should do it at least 150 minutes of moderate to intensity aerobic activity. Don't do it for too short. Don't stop at 5 minutes. You should go for at least 10 minutes. And so you can do 10 minutes and do it for 3 sets every day. So all in a week, you should accumulate 150 minutes or more. And also in a week, you should spend 2 to 3 days doing moderate to high intensity muscle strengthening activities. So we were talking about 100 minutes. That's the minimum. So if you want better effects, you should do more than 300 minutes. So remember, so doing exercise is not trying to be very strenuous, trying to kill yourself. You should do it gradually to increase the time on spending exercise and the intensity, and do it gradually, slowly, and not like doing it all in one go. And that you don't have to prove that you are Superman. So aerobic training guideline. So that means you should do exercise and you sweat and you can have more endurance and create shortness of breath. So how much is good? So at least 3 to 5 times a week. And the intensity should be a moderate intensity. And every time it should last for at least 20 to up to 60 minutes. So the type of exercises is to train your large muscles, for example, your arms and your thigh. And so you should do aerobic exercises, for example, running, dancing, swimming, and hiking. Those are aerobic exercises. If we do exercise, how do we know how intense it is? So we have something called a modified walk scale. So there's a scale of between 0 to 10. So 0 is when you're watching TV on the couch, that's 0. 10 is when you want to catch the bus and you can't catch it. So that's maximal exertion. So I hope that when you do exercise, you can go from 5 to 7. That's the appropriate intensity. So when you do exercise, how do you know how fast your heart beats? So we use a primitive way, so we can try that for ourselves. So use 2 fingers and put it on your wrist near the thumb, and then you can try that at home for yourself. So just press it very lightly. Can you feel your pulse? So if you feel it, then okay, let's just quietly look at your watch, the clock, and count to 10 seconds and count how many beats it beats in 10 seconds, and times 4. That means for each minute, that's how many times you beat. So there are more advanced methods. For example, there are watches that have these functions. So you wear a watch and automatically it can check your heart rate. So when you do exercise, of course, our heart rate is faster rather than your heart rate at rest. Let us talk about another way. So how about a talking test? So the intensity of exercise can be measured by, for example, moderate, light, moderate, and intense. So light meaning that you can talk, you can sing, you can chat without any difficulty. That's light. And vigorous means that when you're exercising, you're short of breath, you can't talk, you can't sing. So that's vigorous. Well, actually, what we hope to achieve is somewhere in the moderate level, meaning that, okay, it's not so difficult, but you can talk, maybe you cannot sing, but that's the level that we want you to achieve. Right. So some of us want to know, is mahjong, playing mahjong and exercise? Well, actually, you can talk while you play mahjong, right? So actually mahjong is not an exercise. So please, when you do exercise, so do those that are moderate to vigorous before you can see any results. Something that is very important, so listen carefully. How do you prevent injuries when you exercise? When you do it safely, don't pull your muscles, don't pull your hamstrings. So first, we must, before we do exercise, do warm-ups and cool down afterwards. In other words, you stretch your neck, you stretch your arms, you stretch your legs before you really start doing exercise. So for the warm-up and the cool down, spend at least 5 minutes doing that so that your body is more flexible. And try to avoid doing activity in extreme weather. If it's too cold or if it's too hot, that's not appropriate for those who have medical conditions to exercise. Remember to stay hydrated when you do exercise, and also carry some fast-acting carbohydrate food, for example, crackers or biscuits in England, or candy bars or granola bars, power bars. Those will help. And how do you prevent injuries? So you should have your medical identification. So you have your medical ID card. You should know your medical history. Say maybe those who have diabetes may have heart problems. So you should adjust your exercise level accordingly and choose those that are appropriate for your condition. Say if you've never done any exercise before, don't try to do vigorous ones right off the bat because that may cause muscle achiness, and that will last for a few days afterwards. So then it will scare you off and you don't want to do exercise for at least another 2 weeks. So try to adjust your intensity so that your body can tolerate it, and then you can do it for at least 20 minutes a day. Another thing is foot care. That is very important. So we will talk about more later. And when you feel discomfort, stop. And then you talk to your family doctor afterwards. So everyone should be aware that diabetes affects our nervous system or our sensitivity. Say our arms and our hands and feet, they are not so sensitive. At least sometimes when they get hurt, we don't know. So watch out for your foot or your feet, especially before you do your exercise. You should have adequate foot care. So you should use some warm water to clean the injured foot, especially between toes. After you've cleaned them, you should use a towel to soak it, to dry it, all of the foot, especially between the toes. So your foot should remain dry and not damp, and you should also maintain the skin health of your foot. So if the climate is too dry, if there are places that are damp, moldy, so you should use some lotion, skincare products, and cream, and even baby powder to maintain your foot's health. So there are places that you can, you may not be aware that they're injured, so you can use a microscope to magnifier to watch for those wounds. So if you see any kind of wounds or redness or any bleeding, remember, don't go to the water, don't go to the pool, and don't go to the beach especially. Now, our toenail care is also important. So if your toenails are too long or if it's too untidy, so you're prone to injuries. So when you clip your toenails, be careful that you don't hurt your toenails or your toes, actually. So the best thing is to wear socks all the time. Even if you're indoors doing exercise indoors, it's good to wear kind of thick socks and anti-slipping socks so that you're not so easily injured we also told you that when you do exercise, don't do it when it's too hot, because you can get a heat stroke or you can feel discomfort. The last diagram shows that don't do it bare feet, especially when you are doing on a uneven terrain, going to a beach or some grass. If you walk without wearing shoes, maybe there are sharp objects right there, or maybe there are obstacles that you don't notice and you can injure yourself. Right, so we have some recommendations for doing home exercise. You can do exercise at home. You don't have to go outdoors all the time. So what our recommendations are is that at home, you should do at least 15 minutes of exercise, which include stretching, warm up, say 5 minutes of stretching. So if the weather is kind of cold, you should do it for longer, to maybe 10 minutes of warm up, say 10 minutes of stretching. So actually our upper torso, our upper arms, you can make circles with that, and be sure to move your shoulders, your shoulder blades, so that your body gets warm very quickly. So do it forward and backward. So that's how you do warm up. So also your lower body, your lower limbs, you can march in place, and so that's how you warm up. And your lower back, your waist, you can go do circles like doing the twist, and then do it slowly. Don't do it too fast. So that's how you use your muscles effectively. And also when you do exercise at home, try to do jog in place or run in place. So if you want to go outside, you can go for a walk and that sort of thing. So you can see that at the lower left corner, there is the calf raise exercise. Actually, what I wanted to check is our calf is actually our second heart, because our heart pumps blood to the calf, and when it contracts, the blood goes back to the heart. So this exercise is very helpful. The last thing is stretching. Stretching, you can stretch your lower back. When you sit for too long, stretching is very important. So I hope that in the near future, we can share more exercise with you. So when you're listening to our talk at home, I hope that everyone can keep doing exercise, stay active, and so keep an active life to ensure that you have good health. Good, thank you. So if you are taking part for the first time, you have not been registered in our email list, you can scan this QR code to join our iCON mailing list. And in future, whatever activities we have, we will let you know in the first instance. I want to thank our community partners who are, well, there are very many, you can see. They are Vancouver Coastal Health, Fraser Coastal Health, CMHA, and South Vancouver Neighborhood House, Richmond Cares, Family Caregivers BC, UVic, Self-Management BC Institute on Aging and Lifelong Health, Vancouver Divisions of Family Practice, and Vancouver Public Library, as well as Villa Cathay Care Home and Richmond Care, Richmond Gives Caregiver Hub, Mosaic Caregiver BC. Thank you to all of you to help us promote and advertise this program to the public out there. And I also want to thank our media partners. They include Fairchild TV, Omni TV, Ming Pao Daily News, and as well as Singtao Daily Group. And I also want to thank, over the last 2 days, the hubs that were open have been open to the public. They include CRC Health Center, Jackson Lamb Adult Daycare Center, Day Center, South Vancouver's Neighborhood House and Villa Cafe Media Partners. Those are our media partners. You want to watch those presentations again, as well as other presentations, you can go to our www.iconproject.org website, as well as icon.support@ubc.ca to review those presentations.